Page 35, Hide and Seek. This can be a fun piece if you like to do scales and runs. It'll be a pain in our if you don't. So let's talk about it. I have some preparatory exercises at the top. That's fine. You have fun with those. I want to talk about the piece. This is in 6/8 time in the key of G minor. There's 2 flats. It's a relative minor to B flat major. So to do my scale video on G minor, do 2 octaves up and down now, because we're using the 4th finger. We're crossing over the 4th finger. Once you start doing that, you really need to be doing at least 2 octaves on the scales. An 8th note gets a count, so it's at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember the B flat? There's a B flat and an E flat. And then for the next measure, we're crossing over 4th finger for the F sharp and an E flat. Remember, there's an E flat in the key signature. So you get, and then cross over, and then you're going to do it again at basically an octave lower. It's got to be all connected, all smooth. It says molto legato. Molto means a whole lot, and legato means connected. So very connected. I don't know the difference between very connected and connected. It's just do it. Just make sure you're connected. I'm putting a little bit of an accent on the 1st beat and the 4th beat, because in 6/8 time, a lot of times we'll feel it in 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're beaming the 8th notes in groups of 3, so it does that. So it's like the first 8th note in each group. I just put a little natural accent. You go real slow and slowly speed it up. That's where the metronome comes in handy. Get down the 2nd line. You're coming up. And then last 2 measures, you got chords. If you can, bring out the top note. Just put a little more weight on the top note. And for that dotted half note, I'm recommending a 1/4. They're saying 2/5. If you don't want to put a thumb on there, you can do that. That's fine too, but a 1/4 works. You decide which you like better. The 3rd line's the same as the 1st, and then it takes you down to the last line. Now we've got this thing coming up, except you see there's a natural sign on that 1 E flat. So we're down here in the right hand. Now it's an E flat. And then here, and 2/5 if you want for the last one. Now for the left hand, I'd like to make some suggestions here. In this first line, the G B flat to the DA is the same. In the next measure you have the same one, except it's an octave lower. G. Okay. What they have you doing is here to here. I find that dangerous and unnecessary. See, there's different fingering styles. There's different ways people learn to finger. Different approaches to fingering. But one of the principles of the fingering style that I've learned and what I teach is that we don't move our hands around any more than we have to. Unless it's a showy piece and you want to show and like, look how wonderful I can do everything. That's different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a serious classical piece where you're not trying to show off, you're just trying to share music. So I recommend for the left hand, you do that first chord with a 3/2 here, and then a 5/1, because I can do both of those in the same finger, in the same hand position. Easy, and I got enough to think about in the right hand. I don't want to think about left. The next 2 measures is the same thing, just an octave lower. That's what I would take a pencil and just write in a 3/2 instead of the 5/3 that they've got. Don't cross out the 5/3. When you make these changes, just make your changes next to it. You want to always be able to read the original that was there. I should have said this in music. When you start marking up music, don't go scribbling out what they've got. If you have to, you lightly cross it out, but you want to be able to read it anyway, because you never know later on, for some reason, you got to go back and review what was originally intended. 2nd line. Left hand is here, down here. And then up here, and then the chords. These fingers are okay. It's a little awkward going from here to here, but it's good practice. So I'm encouraging you to do that. Again, I use a weight distribution technique when I play. I kind of transfer weight from finger to finger as much as I can. There's very little actual finger motion. The only times the fingers are moving is when I gotta see which finger has to be the lowest, so when I drop my weight, that's the note that plays, or notes. So in this second line, third measure, you're here, my hand's here, and I'm dropping the hand down to get, and then when I go to the last measure, I'm thinking that little finger and middle finger, the notes I want, and I'm going to raise the wrist, because the hand's already down, I'm playing something. I'm going to raise the wrist up, and as I bring the wrist back down, I'm simply raising up the two fingers that are playing and concentrating on the fingers I want down. Here. So it takes a little practice, but with it, I think you'll get it. You should do it in both hands. Here. Sounds terrible. Not too bad if you do it up here. And learn to do that. It'll help you out later on. Third line, again, is the same as the first. 3-2, 5-1. And then let's jump down to the last line. Simple. This is a scale here. B flat. Now they want an E natural. Fourth finger on the A. B flat again. Now it's an E flat. And then, and that's fine at the end. Now when you go to put the hands together, oh, here we go. Well, in the first line it's not bad because the left hand just has the chord. So you just have to figure out. You just have to do this until the second measure when you get down to the end, the right hand needs that A that the left hand's playing. So just go ahead and give yourself, your left hand, an eighth rest. Because you got to move the hand anyways. And while you're playing the A in the right hand, you can move your left hand down. So it's this way. Etc. Same thing in the last measure, the first line. Get the left hand out of the way because the right hand needs that note. But you got to get the left hand down here anyway, so go ahead. Now watch the second line here. You're here the left hand, and the right hand is up here. And then the left hand needs to be here for the next measure, but it's a break between the phrase, so a little bit of silence. So get the left hand where it goes, and after the right hand plays its last note, lifts up, and then the left hand can come down and do its etc. Third line's the same as the first. Now let's go to the bottom. The scale, they're not doing exactly the same things. They're playing the same notes an octave apart, but the fingers are not doing here. One on the right hand, thumb on the right hand, fourth finger on the left, staccato, and then here. Just real slow and put in the natural L. 1, 2. I recommend you drop the wrist a little on these, on the accents. 1, 2, 3. It tells you it's a melodic minor scale. The melodic minor scale is similar to the harmonic as what we use, except they've got an E natural and we use an E flat all the time. That's all. And then there's a little crescendo there at the end too. So, dynamic wise, at the beginning you're soft. That's the right hand, so the left hand has to be really soft. Now, the second line, now we're going to start getting louder. And then, now you're loud by the third measure of the second line. And the third line, you're soft again, like you were at the beginning. And then at the bottom, Last line, start it soft, and then you gradually start getting louder in the second measure. And loud. Now, one little tricky spot I like to point out, there's a lot of tricky spots, but you can find those. The one I want to point out is going from the second line to the third line. You don't have any rest, there's no time to do this, you've got to move both hands. So you're here, and into the second line, depending on what fingers you use, I don't know what fingers you use, whatever they are. And you got to go to here. You may have to practice that move because both hands are moving. What it is you know where you are and what fingers you're using. You got to know where you're going, which in this case is here, here, and here. And you got to know which fingers are involved. So here to here. And you may have to practice that move because the beat has to be steady. You're going to cut the dotted half note a little bit short to give you time to get up there, but don't cut it real short. We don't want a full beat rest in there. It's just like a half a beat rest. 4, 5, 6, and try and get up there. It's a neat piece. Allegro moderato, sort of fast. And I think I sort of demonstrated that already. You have your own speed limit. Don't go beyond that. They've got to be smooth, they've got to be even, it's got to be controlled. Use a metronome and gradually speed it up, but in time, this can be a lot of fun to play. This is one of those pieces where you just keep playing and playing and playing as the months roll on and you gradually get better at it and faster at it. It's fun. Let's play it really, really slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, you can do that. Now, since it's in 6/8 time, I'll give us 6 counts, and the metronome is beating 8th notes. We're going to go really slow, so go ahead with the right hand, left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. 3, 4, 5, 6. Two, 3, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off.